The Caribbean island has beautiful blue, crystal clear water with many fabulous snorkeling locations. In this video, we're going to do a countdown of our 6 favorite Caribbean islands for snorkeling. And at the end of this video, we will discuss the islands with honorable mentions.
Hi y'all, I'm Jeff.
And I'm Becky.
And together we're a cruising good time. We've been on over 25 cruises and been to over 30 Caribbean islands. And after a lot of discussions, both amongst ourselves and with some friends and family, we've come up with a list of what we think are the top 6 islands in the Caribbean for snorkeling. And at the end of the video, we'll give you a few of our honorable mentions as well. So let's get to the list.
So 6 on our list is Belize. Belize has a lot of different snorkeling opportunities. We have really enjoyed Rendezvous Cays, Caye Caulker, and friends and family have really enjoyed Shark and Stingray Alley. There's a lot of different snorkeling options at Belize.
I really like that Rendezvous Cay there. It's just literally just a sandbar. You know,
with a bar.
with a bar. It's a sandbar with a bar. Exactly right. But you get there and you go off the shore there, and it's just a wonderful snorkeling reef right there. There's not a really bad current to get into. Real easy to see. A lot of coral formations, a lot of fish. And like I said, you get done with it, you got a bar handy right there on the sandbar to wait to it. Caye Caulker, I like that too. You know, that's where you got the Shark Alley and Stingrays and all that over there. A lot of people we talked to go over there. My sister went over there, did some snorkeling, had a good time. And it's a whole different dynamic than the Rendezvous Cay. The nice thing about that part of Belize is that you don't have to go into Belize City off the cruise ship. The shore excursion, if you do it through the cruise ship, will take you straight out to those dive locations and bring you right back in. So you don't have to mess with Belize City or anything like that and just kind of get in with it.
Yeah, and once again, it's the Caribbean. Crystal clear water, really, really beautiful things. We have been there when there were some storms, and the snorkeling wasn't quite as clear in the reefs that we were snorkeling, but we still had a good time.
Number 5 on our list is St. John, U.S. Virgin Islands. Now, the cruise ship actually goes to St. Thomas, a neighboring island. It's real easy to get St. John from St. Thomas. There's a lot of shore excursions that will offer a trip over St. John's. St. John is unique because it has a U.S. National Park there, the U.S. National Park for the U.S. Virgin Islands. And a lot of it is underwater. They actually have not really a course, but they have a reef there, and with some placards under the water, and give you some description of some of the wildlife that you're seeing there. And it's a real easy snorkel to do. It's right off the beach, and it's easy to get to off the cruise ship, and it's really good snorkeling too. So we've done that once or twice and had a good time there.
We put it on the list due to the uniqueness of the snorkel. And talking about unique snorkels, we go to number 4 on our list, which is Dominica. So Dominica is a beautiful, lush, green, mountainous island. Beautiful, beautiful things to do on the land. However, it also has a lot of volcanic activity, which leads to Champagne Reef. Yep. So Champagne Reef is pretty magical. When you snorkel through it, there's little bubbles that come up that you get to snorkel through. Now, you know, it's reefs. There are better reefs on other islands, but it has decent reefs. It has fish. But those champagne bubbles are the uniqueness that led it to be number 4 on our list.
It is really unique to be in those bubbles while you're snorkeling. That's unlike any other reef we've been on, and that's why it's on the list.
Number 3 on the list is Curacao. You know, it has all that fabulous Dutch influence, but what puts it on the snorkeling list is that there are over 20 locations that you can snorkel to off of the beach, and some of them are really fabulous. Playa Lagoon is a great place to snorkel, and Playa Pescado has a bunch of sea turtles, and they'll come and interact with you. And of course, it has Tugboat Beach, and the tugboat has been sunk long enough where it has coral on it, so it is very good snorkeling and completely accessible from the beach. So that's why Curacao makes our list.
Number 2 on that list is Roatan over on the Western Caribbean. Roatan has fantastic snorkeling. On the north side of the island, there's 3 really nice snorkeling areas. There's a starfish alley, which doesn't have a lot of coral, but it has a lot of starfish and sand dollars, and that's just a lot of fun to kind of be in there. Then they have the Blue Channel, which is just a ton of coral in there, a lot of sea life, a lot of coral you can just kind of hang out in, take it all in. see what all's happening there. And then they have a wreck of a ship called the Odyssey, wrecked about 100 years ago on a reef in a storm. And it's been down a lot. There's a lot of coral and wildlife on that too. We've seen some moray eels in there, in fact. And it's just a lot of fun to go take in and kind of hang out and see all the different wildlife. It's all shallow enough that you can see very well. None of it's too deep, so you can still see a lot of the colors in the wildlife. And it's real easy to get to. Water's nice and warm. There's no current right there. I think it's one of the best spots to snorkel in the world. There's on the west side of the island, over by West Bay, real popular beach over there, nice sandy beaches, and there's a couple little areas that go off on either end that you can go snorkeling right there in some of those areas. My sister likes the west side of Roatan a lot with the hotels and the all-inclusives and the wonderful sand out there, and that's a lot of good snorkeling out there too.
Your sister has really had great vacations where she stayed up on the western beach and have spent time in the sand and also done some really great snorkeling from the beach.
Absolutely, yep.
So another terrific snorkeling site, which also has that terrific Dutch influence, is Bonaire. Bonaire has Bonaire Klein, and that is the best place I've snorkeled in the Caribbean. They have this fabulous wall, and it comes up to maybe, say, 6 feet or like 2 meters, below the surface of the water. And there's a current there, so you can just do a drift snorkel and just go down the length of it and see all sorts of amazing things. And then if you come back and start again, you can look at a different level and you can see, and of course it's ocean life, right? You see different stuff the next time through. It is an absolute fabulous snorkeling location. And they also have other places to snorkel at the beach. So we have ranked Bonaire as our number one snorkeling location.
Yes, absolutely. It's great. The diving is great there. That drift snorkel you have on Klein Bonaire is just a lot of fun because, like Becky said, it starts about 6 feet deep, drops off to probably about 40, and you can just see a ton of wildlife and different coral creatures and everything else in there. So it's just a lot of fun to take in. And like you said, when you come back around, the fish move. There's going to be all sorts of different animals around there the second time you see it. So it's a lot of fun to take that in. The water's great, crystal clear. And the food in Bonaire is a lot of fun too. So it's a good time to post-diving, to go have a good time and get a good meal there.
So the Caribbean has such amazing crystal clear blue water that almost all the islands are going to have little places that you can see some fabulous fish and a little bit of snorkeling that you're going to enjoy. So Jeff and I are also divers, and the Caribbean has amazing dive locations. Yep. What's very interesting, though, is some of the places that have the great coral reefs for diving. The reefs are so deep that they're not quite as good as snorkeling.
I agree.
So we've kind of put together a list of other places that are really, they're honorable mentions for snorkel, but we prefer our top 6 to these locations. The first one I'd like to list is Grand Cayman.
Yep.
Of course, Grand Cayman has Stingray City, which is not much of a snorkeling destination, but they also have quite a bit of coral reefs. That's, some decent snorkeling. And of course, if you dive, it's amazing sights.
Yeah, Grand Cayman's fantastic for diving with the wall dive, and there's a few wrecks there. But like Becky said, those are down about 40 feet is the shallow part of it. And so it's really too deep to do a good snorkel because it's just, you lose a lot of the color or not as good a snorkel, in my opinion, as it is diving. And likewise, number 2 on the honorable mention is Cozumel. Cozumel, again, has fantastic diving right there on Palancar Reef and all the other reefs right there in the channel. Great drift dives. But again, it's a little too deep for the snorkeling. And in our opinion, there's other places to go where you have more color, the wildlife's closer to you in shallower water than those 2 locations, which are fantastic dive locations.
But it's still a good snorkeling opportunity, depending on where your cruise is going. So you can evaluate all your stops, figure out which ones you're snorkeling at, and look to where you might want to do other activities at some of the other islands.
Yeah, if Cozumel's your only stop on a cruise, it's got really good snorkeling just by default.
It beats the heck out of the Gulf of Mexico. We would also like to give an honorable mention to Aruba. Yeah. One of our first snorkeling trips we took to Aruba, we had just a fun and fabulous day. But in retrospect, the snorkeling isn't quite as high level as the ones we put on our main list. Jeff and I love to travel and we love to vlog, so please check out our playlists on the Caribbean and other itineraries.
also check out our video on the top 10 Caribbean islands, in our opinion. We have a link below, and there should be one on a card if you're watching on the YouTube app and not necessarily on YouTube TV.
We hope you found this video useful.
If you liked the video, please give us a like and subscribe and turn on those notifications. It really helps us out.
Until next time, have a cruising good time.